Oh, oh. Hi. Wow, it's a beautiful day today. It finally feels like winter. It's been so warm. It was like this last year too. And while I love the warm, I love winter. I've been waiting for winter temps and especially snow. Still waiting on the snow. I'm in bed right now. One of my favorite places to be, which is so atypical of me, but in pregnancy, it just feels so good to relax. We've always got a lot going on, but we have especially a lot going on right now. We started the whole shower story over the last number of videos, and we don't have an ending yet, so I don't want to start the new story of the kitchen or this big project that Barron's working on without an ending either. So I figured I'd just get on here today and do a Q&A of some of our most commonly asked questions. I can't breathe. We're getting pretty close to having this baby Earthside, and a lot of you have a lot of questions about it. I've just started getting into meal prepping, and not even quite meal prepping. I've been broth prepping and carb prepping. I've been making bagels. Next on the list is going to be English muffins. A lot of stock, a lot of bone broth, and just straight chicken. I've made a bunch of chickens lately so that we have plenty of chicken meat ready to go for soups that I will make. For anything postpartum that Barron might want to make, quesadillas are his specialty. I don't know why it took me so long to start cooking chickens. Whole chickens, in the Instant Pot anyway. I cook them in water, so that water turns into chicken stock that I can make soups and stuff with. I get the chicken. Then with the bones, I can make bone broth. So for this $10 free-range chicken, I get all of that. $10. I'm drinking decaf coffee, collagen, and pearl powder with a little bit of honey. I've been drinking decaf coffee because I still crave coffee, but I'm not really doing so much caffeine. Maybe some green tea here and there on work days, edit days, like today I had green tea this morning. But I used to be one of those people who said, what's the point of decaf coffee? The point is to have no caffeine and still be able to drink coffee. Let's start with the first official question, the most common question, and the one that I want to just get out of the way. What am I most afraid of in birth and pregnancy? I have not been sitting in my fears for the first time ever. It seems like the least productive thing that I could do. Of course, there are things that I am nervous about. I'm nervous about unnecessary interventions in delivery, nervous that the baby could be potentially not healthy. I'm nervous about the things that most likely won't happen. So as a whole, I'm just trying to avoid even thinking about those things. Instead, I'm focusing on all the ways that I want things to go right. I'm visualizing a very healthy little baby girl. I'm getting prepared mentally and I'm getting prepared physically. Our space, our food, and yeah, it seems like that's about all I can do. How am I feeling physically? I've been feeling pretty good. For the most part, very, very good. I have heard so many moms say that by the time they get to the end of third trimester, they're just so ready to get the baby out. And I thought, I'm not going to be that. I'm going to love pregnancy the whole way through. I'm going to really enjoy it. But I think I'm coming to understand what they were meaning by that. Things are just getting more uncomfortable. I'm digesting my food up here, not down here like normal, but my intestines, for the most part, are all up here. So I can feel the happening in places that they don't normally. I have had round ligament pains and some pelvic pain ever since 20 weeks that I've just gotten used to. My sleep has been really broken since the second trimester. I haven't slept a full night all the way through in probably before I was pregnant. That doesn't bother me though. I'm not frustrated by waking up a million times in the night because I can get back to sleep. And I know that I eventually will. I spend around 12 hours in bed. I'm not asleep for all of those 12 hours, but I get in bed around 7 or 7:30 and don't get out of bed until 7 or 7:30. Emotionally, I'm feeling really good. Second trimester was awesome in terms of confidence and general vibes. I have really enjoyed the hormones being pregnant. I felt more chill than I have ever been in my life. I'm constantly at ease, and I am not that way typically with my cycles. I also tend to be extremely self-driven. I love to be doing and creating and producing, but while I've been pregnant, I have had such a lack of desire to do much of anything. And I am really going with that. I'm not pushing against that because I understand that for the first time in my life, I get a break. I'm never gonna have breaks like this once we have a child. And then we'll have two. So I've been really taking it in and it's been super fun. to just chill. I am not at all as active as I typically am or typically desire to be. I don't feel like going for walks, which is not a normal experience for me. Like, I can't even talk without getting out of breath. So going on a walk just is like, why would I do that? I am walking. I am staying slightly active enough to feel like I'm a human being. 10,000 steps a day, though, is not happening. Which leads me into weight gain, how I feel about weight gain. This has been one of the most interesting things for me through pregnancy as a whole. This is fascinating. I started being pretty taken over by an eating disorder when I was 15, freshman year of high school. And in the 10 years that I've had this YouTube channel, I don't think I've ever talked about this. At that time, being 14 or 15, I was not starving myself because of body dysmorphia, because I thought that I was fat. I did it as a form of punishment to myself, a form of discipline. Of course, I didn't know this at the time, or else maybe I could have looked into it a little bit more and fixed it. I felt like I was so unlovable, that I was so wrong in everything I did and not enough. So no one could hurt me because I was hurting myself worse. That was kind of the core of it. I didn't feel like I deserved food. I struggled with that pretty intensely through high school and college. Then I met Barron, and Barron healed a lot of things in my life. But I kind of later realized that I still had lingering effects of an eating disorder. A lot of my bullet journal tracking, a lot of that stemmed from my eating disorder in both positive and negative ways. I think I tracked everything so hardcore because I thought that this was a new way for me to try to be healthy. But I also knew that in tracking everything and being so observant of everything that I ate, that it was not exactly helpful for somebody with an eating disorder. I just kept telling myself something is wrong with me. I'm gonna figure out what it is, and I will find out by tracking my whole life. Did I figure it all out? No, but it did teach me a lot of things. My hormones were all over the place, and so that was when I began cycle tracking and really learning about my body and my cycles. That has been a game changer for me, absolutely game changing. It changed my life, just tracking my periods. Fast forward, we bought our land. We started eating more meat and dairy because we had a refrigerator. Whereas in the Scamp, our whole 5 years on the road in the Scamp, we just couldn't. It's not that we didn't want to, we just couldn't eat very much protein or fat. Within a few months, I gained a whole pant size once we got on our land. I was, like a size 27, just a little itty bitty still. But even then, in gaining a pant size, I thought that that was the start of me letting myself go, even then. So anyway, now that I'm pregnant, it's fascinating because I look back at footage from Scamp days, footage from early land days, from building our house and stuff. I was so small. And I don't think in my head currently, oh, I wish I could go back to that. In my head now, I say, I'm done with that. I was not healthy. I feel better than I have ever before. When I'm hungry, I eat. When I go to a restaurant, I order the food that I want. And these are things that I have spent the last 15 years not doing. Just completely ignoring hunger cues. Ordering the things that I think I should order at a restaurant. And I think it's all because now I know that what I'm putting into my body is not only nourishing my body, but there's someone else here. I can't be stupid anymore. I can't be selfish anymore. That's the biggest thing. This is no longer just about me and my insecurities and my mental stuff. I'm not passing that down to her. And maybe in having some extra weight on my body right now, maybe that's part of why I feel so good mentally, because I have nutrients in my body. I've let go of this idea in my head that other people in my life, close people, are judging me, thinking that I'm letting myself go. I'm done with that. I'm pregnant, dude. You have to put on 25 pounds just to create the baby, the placenta, and all the blood. By the end of this pregnancy, I'll probably have gained 30 to 35 pounds. And I think me here trying to justify it to you is still me kind of trying to justify it to myself, that this is all good. I feel more confident in this body than I have ever felt before. So that's amazing. Stoked about that. People have asked about money and what we are going to do about money. YouTube does not give me maternity leave. YouTube actually punishes you when you take breaks. So our plan is to record a few podcast episodes kind of like this with me and Barron, just chit chat podcast style, so that while we're going through postpartum, we're putting something on YouTube that hopefully you guys find interesting until we can get back to videos. And videos are probably going to change quite a bit. I am the main filmer, the main editor. I do the thumbnails, the titles, upload. That's all my jam. And it's not going to look the same. When going through first trimester, Barron really took over. He did most of the filming, most of the editing, and I got on and just uploaded. I don't know what things are going to look like. We kind of have visions of doing a lot of live streams, even during postpartum, just to share the experience with you guys. Not guaranteeing it, but I think that'd be kind of interesting. Something that I would like to see right now is, what does your postpartum look like? In terms of money, I don't know how that's going to change either. But Barron and I have wanted kids for over a decade, and we have designed our lives so that now, in this moment, in the situation that we're in, we can have kids. We have no debt. Our land we bought outright, our house we built in cash outright. We don't make very much money. Between the two of us, you might be very surprised how little we make, but it's because we don't have hardly any expenses. Our major bleed of expenses the last 3 years has been this house. Because by design, we don't work to pay off our debts. Barron will be able to spend every second with me. He doesn't have to go back into work. I don't have to go back into work. And also, we've been contractors since college, so we are very used to having big spikes from big projects down to next to nothing. Big spikes. We get money in waves. Whereas I think maybe for other people who have a consistent 9-to-5 salaried income that is always the same, that might sound pretty scary, having waves like this. So yeah, money looks different for us than for a lot of people. We've designed our lives to not need a lot. And that brings me into another question about needs versus wants. We had a lot of people who were curious about our Christmas present trade and why we don't do holidays. Oops, I had to restart the camera real quick. Oh my God. Why we don't do holidays. I don't have a very nostalgic connection to holidays. And Barron, I guess, I don't know. He doesn't either. When I see these hauls of Christmas gifts that girls are buying for all their friends and family, and then what they got from their friends and family, and see all the stuff doesn't fit into our lives. Literally, we don't have room for it, but we are not big stuff people. If we need something, we buy it. Well, if we need something bad, Barron will buy it. If I need something, I will put it in a shopping cart and then I will never buy it. And I think that stems from that eating disorder stuff, that I don't deserve to spend money on myself. I think that's where the root of it. Before we moved into the scamp, Barron and I lived three places together. Three places together. And each time that we would move, we'd get rid of more stuff, knowing that we wanted to do some sort of tiny house living style. We had no nice furniture between the two of us, but we'd get thrifted stuff and collected some things over time. And so every move, we'd get rid of more and more of that until we had all of our belongings in one bedroom together. Then obviously we lived in a 13-foot scamp for 6 years. And we learned exactly what we need to get by and how good that feels. In my toiletry bag, I had a toothbrush that was cut in half to save on space, like the handle was cut off. A little jar of toothpaste. I had one moisturizing balm and a comb. And that was all that I did to myself. I was washing my hair with eggs at the time. I don't think it's necessary to go that hardcore to learn about the things that you need and don't need in life, but that is what we did, and it really stuck. I have everything that I need. And so then, because I know what I need in life to be happy, it makes it so that I have very few wants. Oh, I was really obsessed with crystals. I can't move. I was really obsessed with crystals at the beginning of the year for some reason. I mean, I love crystals all the time, but I bought a handful of just random tumbles, and that was fun. But it reminded me that the most fun part of buying things online is waiting for it. And then you get it and you open it and it's really exciting. You have it, and then the crystals sit in this bowl. They just sit here. And I think there are a lot of wants in my life like that. Sometimes I get desires for different clothes, different beauty products like an eyelash curler, just random stuff. And then I think, how's that going to impact my life? Is it going to impact my life? Or is it just something that Instagram is convincing me that I want? And that's usually the case most of the time. I'm not a very good customer for Instagram. They do not get me very easily. For baby stuff, I put on our registry the things that after a lot of research, the things that I think we definitely will need. I'm sure there are going to be things that we wish we had that we can then go and buy. And I'm sure there are things that we will have that we won't use. I'm so lucky right now to have a number of pregnant women in my life, so I will just continue paying it forward like so many moms have done for me. I feel really comfortable with everything that we have. It's all in the A-frame because we unpacked it all on the baby shower live stream, and then we had nowhere to put it. Something that needs to happen in the next pretty soon is building another little closet situation up here in our bedroom for the baby. We are going to be doing the 5-5-5 rule, maybe the 10-10-10 rule, depending on how things are going. 5 days in bed, 5 days on the bed, 5 days near the bed. Really taking it easy postpartum, just enjoying the baby. And I don't plan to leave the bedroom much for the first few weeks. That's been a really big issue in our house, is storage. We have plans for storage, but because we've been building everything else, we haven't built the storage because we need everything else to be done first. Pretty soon, we'll have our kitchen cabinets. So all of the stuff in the back room, kitchen-related stuff, is going to finally be in its home, which will then allow us to build the storage that we've been intending to build in the back room. And then everything will have a place. Sometimes it just feels like we have so much stuff, but we have more stuff, obviously, than we had in the Scamp. The difference is, right now, we don't have any closets. We don't have a tool shed. We don't have a garage. We have nowhere to put anything. So it looks like we just have all this clutter. Because we don't have anywhere to put things. But all in due time. Everything happens slow because we're doing everything with no debt as we can afford it. So we are patient. Are we doing cloth or disposable diapers? I want to do cloth. Jen and Adrian sent boxes of cloth diapers, and I'm so thankful. They're in the A-frame too, because I'm honestly a little overwhelmed by the idea of just preparing, just getting them all washed correctly, and just preparing the diapers is, it's similar to me not wanting to start sourdough. It just seems really complicated. But there's so many people who do it and love it. And I know that I'm going to love cloth diapering. It's very up my alley in terms of sustainability, and I think it'll be fun. And they sent such awesome packages of everything we could possibly need. So we are so set up. I just have to learn about it. And it feels like there are never ending things to do and to learn. So I'll get there soon. For some of these diapers, you have to wash them 3 to 6 times to get them to be waterproof. And to me, that just seems, oh boy, okay. Someone very generously bought us a kit of diapers for the first month of postpartum. In case it's just too much to figure out cloth diapering, we'll do disposables, or at least have them as an option. And then if we end up doing cloth as our main thing, I am not opposed at all to also doing disposables when we need to. Another big part of the choosing cloth over disposables is we live almost an hour away from the dump. We have no trash service, and we have nowhere near us to buy any type of clean diapers. Of course, you can order stuff, but if we're all of a sudden out of diapers and I need Barron to, I don't know, we need to run and go grab some immediately, there is nowhere to do that. We'd be driving a few hours to go and pick up clean diapers. I just don't want the chemicals that are, a lot of these very common diaper brands are laden with on my baby's butt. Sorry, I just don't. That's something we're gonna figure out. Both Barron and I are trying to have few expectations. We have hopes and dreams, and there are ways that we would like things to go. But we're staying very open to everything because we've never done this before. And I think the more that you have expectations, the more likely you are to have those expectations not be met in any area of life, not just having babies. So what am I eating? I am eating in a way, it's not a diet. It's pro-metabolic health. I eat whole foods, minimally processed foods. I do still eat processed foods. A lot of animal products, grass-fed, wild game, raw dairy, bone broths, homemade soups, fruits, vegetables, lots of butter, whole foods. This type of eating is very nutrient dense, very mineral dense, and it just seems like it makes sense to me and my body. We live in an area where we don't have access to fast food restaurants or common chains, so I don't have to be tempted by things like Chick-fil-A, which is great. I love Chick-fil-A. I love a good greasy pizza. I love a craft beer. But for the most part, this is how we eat, and this is how I probably will continue to eat for a long time. Hopefully we can start growing most of our own food over time. That's the goal. Okay, just a few left. Nesting. I think I have actually begun a few times nesting. Now, people said in a video a while back, what do you have against nesting? Like, why are you saying you're not nesting? What's wrong with nesting? Nothing is wrong with nesting. It's just that somebody in my personal life told me, oh, Elsa's nesting and she doesn't even know it. And in that moment, I think I was probably not feeling very good. It was first trimester and whatever. I just thought, I know me better than anyone else. And I know that I'm not nesting. Me buying a new bedspread to swap out our 13-year-old twin-size bedspread, that was just me being an adult. And that's what I said in that video, but people just, she's nesting, she's nesting. Okay, what makes me think that I am nesting currently is I went on a deep clean while Barron was gone. A deep clean, like organizing our bookshelf by genre type of deep. I was magic erasering our wooden countertops, kind of deep clean. Those are things I don't do, but it just felt really good and really satisfying to go hard in the paint like that. And I'm like, okay, this is what nesting looks like for me. Maybe buying new bedspreads is what you did when you were pregnant, and that's fabulous. So all that to say, I think that it finally hit. It's pretty neat, pretty wild experience to have. An insatiable desire to organize. I love it. I hope that it sticks. I could utilize that in my life. Some consistent craving to organize, because that is not me. Brain fog has slowly moved in. It's like washed over me like a storm. It is fascinating how little I can keep my thoughts straight. I have so many things that I want to do, and typically I'm so good at busting those out and just getting them done and tackling them and one thing after another, and I love to drink a ton of coffee and just do. But this pregnancy as a whole, I've been really chill, and especially now that I'm having this fog come over me, I'm like, I was crocheting this teddy bear for some new friends, and I had to redo it so many times because I couldn't keep the numbers straight, counting to 10. I couldn't keep it straight. Weird. I have heard that type of lack of mental clarity happens so that you can be really in tune and intuitive with your baby, so that your baby is the number one focus. So I think that's really cool. And like I said earlier, I am enjoying the not having to crush it all the time. My adrenals are probably really happy for the break. Okay, and I guess these other questions I've kind of answered in answering the other questions. Yeah, that's just a simple Q&A. I hope that was kind of interesting. Sorry for the lack of edited, polished video this week. Maybe we all need to get used to having a variety of videos, some new spice, or lack thereof in videos, because who knows how things are going to change. It has been so profoundly cool, awesome, with a capital awe, to see the amount of support that we've received from you guys, you there, human being behind the screen. It's been cool that this experience has taken you, human behind the screen, and brought you into our human world. Because for the entirety of this channel, it's just been a really digital relationship where you comment, we respond, or we just make videos that you watch. And to be able to connect human to human and have you support our baby and us in having a baby, it's it's felt really, really surreal. We live in a very isolated area, and we have our local small, close-knit community out here, but we don't have a village in the same way that maybe we might have had in the city. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we would have a village in the city in the same way. I was just talking to my friend Dana from Wild We Roam, the YouTube channel. It is fascinating how much more connected I feel out in nature. She was kind of saying the same thing. You feel so much more connected in nature because you're connected to all things. And in turn, you are less lonely. Whereas you go spend a bunch of time in the city, or we do, I'm speaking just from my own experience, spend a bunch of time in the city and all these people, fast-paced, just cars driving by, neighbors you don't know. And it's really isolating because there's a lack of connection, despite having everybody swarming around you at all times. And people aren't having babies as much anymore. I've never seen a birth. I've never seen someone go through postpartum. And I'm 33. I'm almost geriatric. Did you know at 35 they start considering pregnancies geriatric? So while this ancestral craving for a village in person might not be what's happening for us this time around in this life, we absolutely have a village in all of you, and that is insane. That's the power of the internet. Thank you so much for your support, your kindness, your love. Your consistency is just so cool. And we will definitely be keeping you guys along for the ride. No doubt about it. I can't wait for you to meet our little girl. Wow, that's so weird to say. Okay. Oh, it's snack time. Look at this. Look at how I cannot move. Oh, okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.